Hi, it's Diana here with a lesson on how to read a recipe. You might think, I just buy the ingredients on the list and I follow the steps, right? Well, on the surface, yes, that is what you do, but there is so much more to it when you really dig in and actually need to make a recipe. So, I'm going to walk you through a strategy on how to approach a brand new recipe that you've never seen before. The questions I want you to consider when looking at a brand new recipe are how long will the preparation take? So that means all the cutting, the chopping, maybe some of the pre mixing. As you read through the ingredients list, you'll see that some things will say 1 onion diced. So that means in your prep time, you have to consider dicing that onion. How long is that going to take you? You have to look at that for every single one of the ingredients that's on that list. So all of that is going to be prep time. The next question, how long will the cooking take? Usually on every recipe, it will tell you how long the actual cooking time will take. Sometimes recipes will give you just a total length, which combines the prep time and the cooking time. So just be on the lookout for that. Next, do I need to account for other time? Sometimes recipes will give you a passive time, a waiting time. If you're talking about breads, they'll give you a rising time so you can get an idea of how much of your day that's going to take up. For example, when I make sourdough bread, there's two 4 hour rise times and one 2 hour rise time. So when I'm going to make some bread, I need to account for what I'm going to be doing during that 10 hours. Next question is how many people does it serve? Can I easily double this recipe? Now, when you consider doubling a recipe, what you want to do is look at the ingredients list and see if something says one package of X ingredient. If it says that you're going to need one package of something, you can double the recipe as long as you go through and make sure that that's kind of the only ingredient that is going to need like that specific quantity of it. Everything else is like a teaspoon of this, a tablespoon of that. You can easily figure out how to double that in a recipe. Next question is, can I add just one or two more servings of something? For some recipes, yes, you can. But as I just mentioned in the last question, if something says that you need an entire package of something and you don't want to leave, like, say, for this tofu recipe, you don't want to leave half a package of tofu sitting around, it's not going to be super easy to just add one or two more servings to it. The next question is, can I split this recipe in half? Say you're cooking for a smaller crew, you're cooking for one person. Does it make sense to split this recipe in half? Do I want half a package of tofu sitting around? Or should I just go ahead and make the entire thing, plan on having leftovers, or invite a friend over for dinner? The next question is, what special considerations do I need to make if I modify that number of servings? So this is all getting back to looking at that ingredients list and figuring out exactly what is on it and knowing how the quantities of each ingredient are interacting with each other. We'll talk more about this when we get down to actually answering all these questions for our recipe. The next question is, do I have dietary restrictions that can work with this recipe? That's going to be a huge thing. So you want to make sure that you are definitely caring for your health when you're scoping out recipes that you want to make. So dietary restrictions, allergies, all of that are going to be super important. You'll need to know what to look through in relation to the allergies and the food restrictions that you are thinking about. The other part of reading a brand new recipe is visualizing the steps. So before you start, you must walk through the recipe in your head and read between the lines to make sure that you have all of the equipment necessary. There's nothing worse than getting halfway through a recipe and realizing that you're missing an ingredient or a piece of equipment that is super important to the process. So I'm going to walk through this list of questions with you and talk you through the visualization exercise for the broccoli tofu stir fry recipe. And for your homework, you're going to have to walk through those same questions and answer them for the other recipe that I've linked, the Dutch baby pancake recipe. So you can either download the PDF attached to this lesson to write out your answers, or you can just use that electronic Google form attached, and then you can just send me your answers that way. So you don't have to download and write your answers down if you choose to use that Google form. Both of them are totally fine for me. Whichever one is easier for you, you go ahead and do that. All right, so let's start. Question number 1, how long will the prep take? It's laid out really simple on that recipe. 10 minutes. It's going to take me 10 minutes to pull all those ingredients together, kind of get them into the form that I'm going to need to start cooking. Number 2, how long will the cooking take? It's going to take 15 minutes of active cooking time. Number 3, do I need to account for other time? So on this particular recipe, I've written out passive time 20 minutes. As you read through your recipe, you'll notice that in step number 1, you're going to cut the tofu block in half to make 2 large flat rectangles. And number 2, you're going to press the liquid out of the tofu. And that's going to need to sit in between those weighted layers of cookie sheets for 20 minutes. So that's where that 20-minute passive time comes in. But in the meantime, you get to cook your broccoli and you kind of get to get the sauce going. So it's not just like you're sitting there for the 20 minutes, you're still kind of working during that time. So question number 4, how many people does this serve? The recipe states 4 people. And that is because when you look at a package of tofu, it says on there 4.5 servings in that one package. I just knocked it down to 4 just to make it really easy. Question number 5, can I easily double this recipe? So I would say looking at this, yes, you can. You can just simply start with 2 packages of tofu and then go ahead and just double up everything else on the list. Question number 6, can I add just 1 or 2 more servings? I would say from my experience, no, it's not going to be easy to add 1 or 2 more servings because like I said in the intro, you're going to have that half a package of tofu just sitting around if you try to make this recipe serve 6 instead of 4. So you're going to either have to make a choice of if you want to make it serve 4 or if you want to make it serve 8 just by doubling up that recipe. Question number 7 kind of goes hand in hand. Can I split this recipe in half? I would suggest not doing that unless you have something else that you're going to do with that other half a package of tofu. Number 8, what special considerations do I need to make if I modify the number of servings? So this is kind of interesting. So it's going to be really specific for every recipe that you look at. I would say if you go down the list, it's pretty tempting to just take each ingredient and just say times 2, just double it up, right? But if I read through the recipe and the instructions, I'm going to see that in step 5, you heat the avocado oil in a large skillet, and then you're going to start cooking the tofu in step 6. So it's not really necessary to add twice as much avocado oil to your pan. It's only necessary to add as much as going to give you a thin layer on the bottom of your pan. So that's going to have to do with your pan size and the amount of tofu that you're cooking. So you don't necessarily need to double up on that oil. The other consideration is sauce. If you're making twice the amount of tofu and twice the amount of broccoli, you might think, hey, I want to use twice as much sauce. But it doesn't necessarily work that way because this sauce goes a long way. So one recipe of the sauce may actually be enough to cover twice the amount of broccoli and twice the amount of tofu. It's just a matter of having enough just to get a nice light coating on each piece of broccoli and tofu in the stir fry. So you can kind of just play with that. Of course, you can just mix up double the amount of sauce. Then when you get to step 9, where I actually add the sauce to the stir fry, you can just gauge on there how much you want to actually pour in. You don't have to pour all of the sauce in that you have prepped because it's going to be in a separate little dish. And question 9, do I have dietary restrictions that can work with this recipe? So this is where you just need to know who you're cooking for and what's in this recipe. People who have nut allergies like peanuts and cashews, you're just going to go ahead and skip that optional garnish of the peanuts and cashews. So let's move on to the next part, which is visualizing the steps. As you read the directions for this recipe, we're going to go through and just think about what else do I need? What are they not telling me? What is not called out specifically that I know I'm going to need to execute this recipe? So moving on down to the directions, number 1, cut the tofu block in half to make 2 large, thinner rectangles. So that says to me I'm going to need a large knife, I'm going to use my chef's knife, and I'm going to need a cutting board. Step 2, press the liquid out of the tofu. This will make it crispy when cooked, and arrange the tofu in a single layer on a baking sheet or cutting board lined with several layers of paper towels or kitchen towels. Top with more paper towels or kitchen towel and another baking sheet or cutting board weighted with canned goods. Let the tofu drain about 20 minutes. That says to me I need 2 cutting boards or 2 baking sheets, or one of each is fine, 1 cutting board, 1 baking sheet. I'm going to need towels or paper towels. Those are not called out on the ingredients list. And I'm going to need some canned goods or something heavy to set on top of that top sheet to put weight on the tofu so the water gets pulled out of that tofu. Moving on to step 3, meanwhile, cook the broccoli, stalks, and florets in a large pot of boiling salted water until it's bright green, about 2 minutes. So nowhere in the instructions or the ingredients does it say to prep your broccoli or get yourself a big, huge pot of boiling water. These are some things that you're going to have to make a note of. In the ingredients list, it does call out that you can use fresh or frozen broccoli. So if you're using frozen, it's already going to be cut up into those little florets. So no more prep to do really for that. If you choose to use fresh broccoli, you're going to have to count for washing it and then the time it takes to cut the entire head of broccoli into florets and stalks. So you're going to drain that and set that aside. So what else do I need? A big pot of boiling water, some salt. You're going to throw that broccoli in and let it cook for about 2 minutes. Drain it. That means you need a colander, and then you're going to set that aside. Step 4, cut the tofu into 1-inch cubes, generally 2 cuts along the short side and 4 cuts along the longer side. It will give you about 30 cubes of tofu. I'm going to need that chef's knife, and I'm going to need my cutting board again. Step 5, heat avocado oil in a large skillet over medium heat for 1 to 2 minutes. So get yourself a large skillet pulled out on top of the stove and preheat that before you put that oil into it. Add tofu. Cook until golden brown on each side, turning each piece to all sides gently partway through. It's going to take 5 to 8 minutes total. So this tells me that in addition to the skillet, I'm going to need a spatula or some tongs, something that I can use to turn each of those 30 cubes of tofu to all 6 sides. Transfer to paper towels when all sides are golden and heated through. So you're going to need fresh paper towels or kitchen towels here. What that's going to do is just pull out the excess cooking fat and leave your tofu nice and crispy. Step 7, meanwhile, make the sauce. In a small bowl, whisk together the soy sauce or coconut aminos, the vinegar, red pepper flakes, garlic, cornstarch, oyster sauce, sesame oil, and 3/4 cup of water, and set that aside. This calls out a small bowl. You're going to need that. Also, a whisk or a fork will do just fine. And then make sure you have all your sauce ingredients pulled together. Step 8, add the broccoli back to the skillet, the same skillet used for the tofu. So you don't need to jump on washing that skillet because you're using it again here. Good thing I read the recipe and I didn't waste my time washing that skillet and then just needing to bring it back later. Add your broccoli to that same skillet, cook it over high heat, stirring it often until crisp tender. Remember, you've already boiled it for a few minutes, so it's already going to be cooked through. You just want to kind of crisp it up, make sure it's still warm, and get it to the right texture on the outside of the broccoli. Step 9, whisk the sauce from step 7 to combine it again in case it has separated out. And then you're just going to pour this over the cooked broccoli in the pan. You're just going to stir all of that until the broccoli is coated. Step 10, you're going to return the tofu to the pan. So that tofu that you've already cooked, that's setting aside on the paper towels, you're going to add those 30 cubes of tofu back in with the broccoli, with the sauce. You're going to stir all of it gently to coat that tofu with your delicious stir fry sauce. It's only going to take like 1 minute more. And then you're on to the last step, step 11, optional. You can serve it over rice. There has been no mention of rice so far. If rice is something that you want to serve with this stir fry, make sure you get that rice started, get it cooking while you're working on this stir fry recipe. You can also optionally top this recipe with cashews, peanuts, or sesame seeds. It's delicious with all 3 of them as long as your allergies allow you to do so. So that's what visualizing this recipe is going to look like. You can see that I actually have pulled out quite a few other things that were not listed in my ingredients list. Most of that has to do with equipment. So make sure when you're looking at a brand new recipe, you know what you're facing and you know what you're going to need every single step of the way. Have everything prepped in advance, and you should be able to tick through all of the steps of your ingredients like it's no big deal. So that's all for this lesson. Go ahead now and read through that Dutch baby pancake recipe and walk me through the 9 questions that I asked and also through the visualization. As you visualize, I want you to give me a list of any equipment or anything else that you might need to make this recipe a success. So good luck. Let me know if you have questions. I hope you had fun with this. I had a lot of fun putting this one together for you, and I'll see you soon in another lesson. Bye-bye.